Welcome, people of the internet. This is Geek Rating Review, where we talk about everything geek culture and geek related. My name is Jean-Marc, and I talk.
My name's Nick. We talk about food, too.
I was born in one, Jean-Marc, because I'm his littlest brother, David.
So who would like to start? Oh, wait, I'm going to start, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to bring up a topic about geek and nerd culture. I am going to start. Thank you for listening. And the first topic of the day that I'm going to bring up is more of a general topic. Because this is our first episode, I feel like it would be a way for people to get to know us, to talk about something more general. And the general topic I want to bring up is comic books. I wanted to know what your first comic book was, how you feel about comic books, and pop culture in general. That's my first thing. And I guess I'll go first. My first dealing with comic books was when I was getting my hair cut when I was a kid. And on the side, whenever we were getting our haircuts, there was a little like stand with newspapers and also comic books, and I would read them there. And then it wasn't until I got to college and my friend took me to the library and they had the comic book collections. I'm forgetting what they're called. Right, what were
Trade
they?
papers.
Do what?
Trade paperbacks.
Yeah, but what are they called when like there's a bunch of them put together?
An omnibus.
Omnibus? But I thought they had a different... Anyway, so that's I don't like reading single issue comics, but I like reading them in a group like you would in a box set like Scrubs or something, or Game of Thrones, like in a DVD box set or Blu-ray box set. I like reading them all because it felt more like a story, and that's where I started. Compendium, yeah, like a compendium. And I started with Fables, actually. And then around that time is when Civil War came out in the Marvel Universe, so then I started reading all of Civil War. But currently, I own Fables, Lock and Key, Deadpool, Suicide Squad Saga, Sex Criminals, Defenders, Monstrous, and the Firefly Extended Universe comics. So I have I'm not like a fanboy of any Marvel, DC, Image or anything, but I own comic books. I love comic books, and that is my short story on comic books, and I like them a lot.
I personally never met an Image fanboy.
Oh, that's true.
If that exists, then that would be a scary human being.
Yes, that would be.
I don't know, man. Like, I've read comics for 25 years. We had a family friend that he was my dad's age, and he would draw a lot, and he had every X-Men animated series toy out of the box, and like stacks of Spider-Man comics and stacks of X-Men comics. Mm-hmm. And there was a grocery store we would go to that had single issue comics, and every now and then my grandma or mom or whatever would let me grab a comic. It would be like the Wolverine standalone series or Brigade, which is an Image series. And then later on, like late middle school, early high school, I started reading graphic novels, Dark Knight, Frank Miller stuff, and Grant Morrison stuff. And it's always kind of just stuck there with me, you know. I never fell out of love with comics. And the series of Marvel movies that were coming out, I was like, until they started getting good. And that's when...
Like Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Thor Dark World really scared me.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not in the way you would think.
No.
Not like a horror movie.
It wasn't a spooky film. It just scared me for comic films in general, because they could have really tanked after that.
Yeah.
This might be
the Russo brothers pulled it.
Absolutely. And this might be a different topic altogether, but I rewatched Captain America, the first one.
Oh, it's rough.
And I kind of liked it.
It's rough.
Have y'all rewatched it, though, recently?
Yes. I did the marathon.
Hugo Weaving in that movie is intolerable.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that Identity Crisis and Watchmen I also read, which are amazing comic books. So yeah, you reminded me of that when you were talking about stuff.
Yeah.
That you've read, Nick. David?
David.
Do you have any?
Well, thanks to Jamak, I get to prove to everyone that I have a not past or present with comic books, barely at all.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the same story Jamak's one at the barbershop. I read a Sonic comic because Sonic was my favorite game. That was about
What a loser!
I forgot that there was Sonic comics.
Yeah. I remember there were
like-
Simpsons comics too. And The Tick I remember big time.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't want to read that because I guess the humor was above my head at that age. But yeah, I read that. I read Identity Crisis like a huge long time later because Jamak basically made me read it. I don't regret reading it. I really, really enjoyed it. I read a lot more manga, that's for sure.
Ah.
I read all of Fruits Basket.
Oh yeah.
We can talk about Fruits Basket another time.
Yeah, we could bring up manga another time too. But that is a comic book genre, I guess. Kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like it's funny, charming, weird. People Googling it would be like, "What the heck is this thing?" But yeah, a lot more of that. Man, you remember Iron Walk Chan?
Yes. Oh man, I completely forgot
I
about that.
really wish I could have finished that.
Man,
I
that was
into
so
that.
good.
That got me through that whole me having the flu period. I thought I was dying. I might have been.
Yeah.
But Iron Walk Jan really helped with that. And then I've read most of the Walking Dead graphic novels.
I read the first compendium, and then I was like, I can't go on after that. Which
I
is
read
the
the
one we
second
had.
compendium and then like another 10 comics after it.
Yeah.
My favorite Walking Dead issue was actually like a little spin-off. Was it the 10-year anniversary about the kid in Spain?
You
It
know
was
more
done
than
all black and
that.
white except for the very last panel that
Oh,
had
wow.
some red in it.
I
I'll have to
didn't
find
know.
the cover.
Never saw
It was
that.
like a spin-off. It was from a couple years ago.
But all of The Walking Dead was black and white, though.
I know, but it was just a standalone issue, black and white cover,
Oh, okay.
and there was just a little red at the end of it. I'll
I
have to
wonder
find it.
why would that?
It was an
comic series
anniversary
have that?
issue. It was a spin-off, like one-off little story. There's a stack of comics right there. That's all comic books
Oh geez.
on top of there. Yeah.
Was I supposed to
And
be
there's more in the
recording
living room.
video?
Do what?
Was I supposed to be recording video? Because I'm not at all.
Yeah.
What?
But no, but that's just I was just
Behind
showing
him,
you
for
guys
audio
visual-
listeners.
there's comics up there.
Yeah, it's
And
comic
I'm
books
sure people
behind
listening
him.
would believe and
Yes,
can visualize
there
a
is.
stack of
And-
comic
Yes,
books.
a stack of comics.
Yeah.
Of one-off comics, like single issue comics. Who's next?
Yeah, that's.
Are we finished with that?
Yeah,
We
I'm
finished it?
finished.
You can take it, Nick.
Nick,
if you
yeah,
want.
you should be next.
This was going to be this is about the consoles. I wanted to know what you guys think. Did Sony and Microsoft get it right this generation? Will the next generation be the last generation of home consoles, excluding Nintendo? Because Nintendo is going to do Nintendo, no matter what.
Okay, yeah.
Iterative consoles. The Xbox One X, the PlayStation 4 Pro. Are we approaching that in terms of console releases?
Wait, I don't understand what you mean, though. What do you mean, like?
A basic box, basically like what the Steam box was supposed to be,
Okay.
with bolt-on features
Um,
farther down the road. Proprietary internal hardware, Sony PlayStation 5 or PlayStation X, whatever, that you will just change the innards as the
I got
generation
you.
ages.
So basically, the consoles being more like a PC, where you can change out the,
Correct.
audio chip or the
mm,
graphics card or whatever in there.
The drive,
Yeah, all that stuff.
the
Huh.
GPU. Because that's what, to me, the Xbox One X, the PlayStation 4 Pro, they did it right. Because, well, PlayStation did it right. Xbox kind of
Yeah.
they're just
Teraflops.
Microsoft.
Mm.
All the teraflops, the most powerful gaming console ever made, all this other stuff they were talking about. But I think they had the right plan moving
Mhm.
forward
Mhm.
Hmm.
because these games were starting to advance faster than what it initially came out. So is that what we're going to see further down the road?
Okay, I think that the beauty of consoles is that they are simplistic, they're easier to use, they're user friendly, more so than computers are, or at least PCs. Not Mac's pretty easy, user friendly, but I think that was kind of their goal. So if they were to be more like PCs and have components being changed out, they would need it yet again to be easy to where even kids could understand it, to where like it would be like a toaster kind of thing where you could like pull out different things from the top of the toaster, depending on what component you want to change out to make it, an even more powerful PlayStation or Xbox. So
Well, then that's the second point that I was trying to make.
okay.
Don't call it the PlayStation 5 or 6 or 7 or 12
Yeah.
because all your framework is still going to be the same.
Hmm.
Same UI, same controller, even, but just sell them another box that's going to still play these same generational games. Further down the road, same box, same name.
Do not think they would ever do that.
Because
Never. They
they
would
don't make money on
never do
hardware.
that. Because
Sure.
because look how much money Microsoft makes by releasing phones every year. You know what I mean? They make money
Right.
off of the box.
Right, but Sony, Microsoft, they don't make money on hardware. They sell these
They
consoles
do
at a loss.
eventually.
They're making money on software licensing.
Yeah.
So it would stand to reason that if the technology going into these machines is getting cheaper, they can start selling these things at a profit.
Mm. David,
Because
what do you think?
if game prices are going to stay $60, there's no point in keeping to sell these chunks of hardware at a loss.
Yeah, but there's also a marketing thing that goes behind. You have the new system. You have the new thing. If it's just the one ubiquitous box that just changes with whatever new hardware comes out, then you miss being like, because there is a feeling you get whenever you switch to the next generation, like you feel like you've accomplished something. So
Trust me, I want that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want that.
yeah. David, how do you feel? You've been quiet.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to more think and take in information because it's kind of a thing of they can sell new consoles at a loss or like what they're really making their money on. Because if they invest their money and time into one thing that will never change intrinsically, then they could possibly lose money in that in the long run. Because later on, if people are fine with where they're at and they don't need the next gen and they don't have anything to buy and there's not as much incentive to buy, I don't know, because it's like getting a new iPhone. You don't need it, but it's cool, fun to have. It's better than the last one, and I guess that's kind of how switching in and out components might be.
But how would you market that? You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
would you market the components separately? And
I think back to the Nintendo 64 with Donkey Kong Country 3D, Donkey Kong Country Returns, where every copy of Donkey Kong Country came with the jump pack, the memory expansion.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something like that. God of War 3 in 2023 could come with a new GPU, but don't call it that. It's just like the expansion, It's a first-party title that comes with proprietary hardware to run new software.
Now, are you saying also that they could use? No, you're saying proprietary, so they couldn't like go out and buy a GX, whatever, put it in there. They would be like,
not a Radeon intercooled graphics processor and all this stuff.
But didn't the PlayStation borrow stuff from other people? Like borrow the innards from other people? But so they're not a manufacturing front for PCs or whatever. You know what I mean? They'd have to build that internally in order to. or at least brand someone else's stuff as PlayStation to be able to put it
Yeah,
in there.
license
Or
it
license
as
it.
the
Yeah.
PlayStation GPU.
That's why I think
Yeah.
it'd be too complex for them to do it that way as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking under Mark's point in that if these are geared towards children a lot of the
They're
time,
not.
I mean, video games were created specifically for children. That's where they began. And if they don't want to lose that market audience, they want to make it more accessible and easy for both parents and kids to understand, because parents are a lot of the people you see going into GameStop to buy stuff their kids don't need.
Did you watch the Microsoft E3 conference? Because that is not that was not for children at all.
But children are still going to watch it, and they're still going to play the games.
Very true,
Yeah.
but they're not. It's not a
But
marketing.
most of the people I hear on Call of Duty are 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
gonna play the new hotness.
Right.
I mean, that's just
And even though it may not be marketed to children, they're still playing these things. They still want to be an adult and play,
Right.
The next gen thing. I know I was like that when the Sega came out. I thought I was a little too young to be playing Altered Beast, but I thought it was cool, and I was playing it. Even though that's marketed to the teenage crowd at the time. But I think what they should do moving forward, at least, is make it easier for you to have more memory in your console and just be able to change the size of your hard drive or whatever. And I wish
mean,
they had that.
You can do that now, but
It's so complicated.
easy to
Yeah,
do.
there's
it is
no
pretty
reason. There's no reason that a launch PS4 came with 500 gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Because I bought my first 10 games and I couldn't have all 10 games on there.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Go ahead.
Well, no, just like how nowadays you need internet. Like you're relying on internet and downloading data to even play a video game. Or before PS2 and before, you had these small little memory cards just for save data. You can run the game completely off the disc.
But that's also a double-edged sword because games
It
are
is.
incomplete.
That's true.
Every day a game is released and it's not finished. And
That's
with
why
the
I like
patches-
Octopath.
Yeah.
But
Full
I
game.
but I do believe in the digital future, and I do believe in maybe not next generation, but the next we will be only downloading stuff, so we will need memory to back that up.
That's true.
And they could save money
And
from not
decent
releasing
internet.
games to just having a big storage on there.
And
It's
that-
just
that-
What about
That's
that
gonna
niche
affect
market
me.
of people who live in the middle of nowhere and have terrible internet?
Well,
I've heard that argument for years now, and they're not the target.
Well, yeah, I know. I was more making a goof.
and
Because
now,
I'm that guy. I live in the middle of nowhere, and I have
Mhm.
relatively crappy internet,
yeah.
and I have to wait 10, 12 hours sometimes to play a patched version of the game that I just bought.
Jeez.
So
Oh yeah, that reminded me that the Xbox 360, I think, had the best way to actually change out your hard drives because theirs just
Yeah,
clicked in and out.
snapped in
It
and
was
out.
awesome,
Yeah.
and I don't
Yeah,
know
they got away
why
from
they're
that.
not doing that anymore. I don't know why they
Yeah.
stopped doing it with the 360. I love that, and then to switch all your data from one hard drive to the other was so simple. I don't know why they stopped
Mhm.
doing that, or at least have a proprietary company or in your own company. Put out hard drives that are compatible with Xbox without having to look them up. Why? How come the people that used to do memory cards, why aren't they doing, like flash drives or something, or little cards that you could, or whatever devices you can use that are exclusive to Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation? I'm talking about hard drive and not really the innards of the console, but I've always thought about that.
Right.
Why?
Because I bought an internal drive for my PS4 because, like Nick said, like the game just went fast. It was PlayStation sponsored it, but it was not owned by PlayStation or Sony in any respect.
Yeah.
and it took them 2 iterations of the firmware on the console, I think, for you to even load them off of an external drive.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do that right out the box.
No,
Yeah.
that's why I got the internal hard drive. And then, like, 5 months later, they got the hard drive and got rid
Yeah,
of
like
this.
I have games installed on this drive right here.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Not a lot, but they're there.
Yeah. And I would like to own one because I don't own an external hard drive. But I
have two. I have one here.
Oh, wow.
I have one here.
Dang. What's that for? That's for PlayStation?
This one, no, I have a Toshiba. This has got movies and our family pictures, and this one's it's just a case. It's got a laptop hard drive in it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
They actually have my old PS4 hard drive that I want to turn into if Nintendo ever supports external hard drives for their Switch. I want to have that. I know. I have a plenty big memory card for it.
But
they did it for the Wii U.
I mean, they
I don't
do
even
support
have a
memory
memory card
cards
for my Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, I have memory cards that I can use in it, but I don't have a memory card for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, are we done with that topic?
Sure. We put it to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have two for everyone. One that could be more geared toward like just psychological things, and one that's just geared more towards a general geekish type deal.
Whatever you feel in your heart.
Well, okay. I have this one. It was based off of actually watching a YouTube channel called Gaming Review.
Oh.
It had a very, very brief mention of this, and it just kind of stuck in my head after that, of the new expansion to World of Warcraft. And it made me think, when's the last time I've even heard of World of Warcraft? I remember the Lich King thing was really big, and they had like another one or two expansions after that. But it's literally one of the oldest, still popular running games on the PC, and it's just got like another really big update. So my question was, is the game still relevant? And I basically answered that by doing slight research on it. Are there any chances of them ever like finally putting World of Warcraft to bed for something new? Something that might pull in more people? Something that's not, I don't know. I'm sure they can only take so many avenues before it just drops off eventually. But, you know, I said that the game's been popular for like 10 plus years. I saw something about cross-platform as being a possibility. I don't really agree with that. And, like, you know, just what's the fan base that consumes this specific product to where it's still as popular as it is?
I have
Because I don't know.
Absolutely no interest in an MMO.
Right.
I know that we've been playing Monster Hunter World, and that is as MMO as I can take.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. World of Warcraft, developed by Blizzard. Blizzard does not need money.
Right.
But because World of Warcraft is making the money and has been for almost 20 years now.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Overwatch is making them fistfuls of cash every hour on the hour.
And that card game.
And yes, Hearthstone is making money.
Yeah, they're making a ton of money off of Hearthstone.
They're actually a part of Activision.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Activision Blizzard is the same company.
Oh, yeah.
But this is just Blizzard we're talking about.
Right. Not.
StarCraft 2 is still extremely popular in South Korea and in the United States too.
Yeah.
The only reason that I can think that they're still supporting World of Warcraft is because they probably still have the biggest install base in any MMO, even rivaling Final Fantasy 14, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the second biggest one I can think of.
I didn't realize that was that big.
Yeah, it's huge. Because that's still getting patches and expansions.
I heard it's addicting.
Every 6 months.
Yeah.
So if it's still making money, why not keep it going?
I know that after the Lich King, they got a bump in sales or people coming back, but then it got lower than it ever gotten after the Lich King. Or no, maybe it was the one after that. There was like a Rain of Fire or something where a dragon came in. Cataclysm. That's it. It was because I would listen to general gaming podcasts and they would talk about World of Warcraft kind of losing relevancy, but it still has like a core audience. But I don't remember the amount that they had. But this expansion is probably, I think they're just going to keep doing what they're going to keep doing because it's been making them money this whole time. And I think that the biggest mistake that they've made was not bringing it to consoles or not even trying to bring it to consoles. And maybe that's what David was saying, where they wanted cross-play, where, if they do bring it to consoles, they wanted people that are on PlayStation or Xbox to be able to play with people on computer or on PC or whatever. I mean, if they have enough money to put out an expansion and enough players to play it, then, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Because, WoW isn't one of those games that it's so demanding graphically, or it's so demanding in them updating, just difficult things to render. It's just the sheer volume, I think, of people and servers and stuff. That's really the harder part of it.
Yeah.
Because when I remember, I actually played Lich King a little bit. I've had maybe 20 hours at the most with WoW. And I was like, these graphics are terrible. That's all I remember about it. I mean, I'm sure it looked better on a better PC, but ultimately, it's not a hard game to make visually. It's just...
Yeah, you don't have to overclock your PC to run it. And even if you did overclock it, it's not a graphically, the fidelity on it won't,
But maybe that's part of its staying power, if I could say it that way. Like, you don't need a lot of horsepower to run it. So that PC master race doesn't really affect its player base because they can still run it on 6-7-year-old hardware. And you're right, it's probably really easy to program these expansions because it's not as intensive as some of these other games,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. I've played a lot of Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't, there's no MMO that makes me want to go, oh yeah, I'll get back in MMOs.
Yeah, I've never played one that has satisfied me to the point of wanting to continue it. Because if you take till the end of a game for it to really start getting good, I don't want to bother putting the 100+ hours it takes to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people's thing about WoW is you gotta wait till you level max, whatever, 80, whatever it used to be. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. You grind it out while I go do fun stuff.
And having daily log-ons to get all these bonus and stuff.
That's what phone games are now. I don't.
I have one game on my phone and it's called 10+, and I have the world record score.
That is crazy. You do not have the record score on there.
Hold on, buddy.
You.
Nope. He's going to show you people.
I'm going to show the podcast world. Open your mind.
Open your mind. Tell us what the thing is. Like what your name is on there, and then we can just look it up.
Okay, this is the game. I don't know if that's coming through.
I see it.
Yeah, I see you with 10+. Yeah, I see
10+. Android only.
Oh, okay. Well, no one has an Android number one.
I don't have to tell you what the name is because it just says me as the number one.
So you're the only person playing it, other than Churba Bands and Japanile.
Claire Bands, Japanophile, NC 1973. Yeah, I have the world record. And I've been playing that game for 5 years.
What is this game?
It's called 10+. It's just a match 3 that's super easy and difficult. There's no power-ups. There's no login bonuses.
Say super easy and difficult.
It's super easy and super difficult because there's no lives. Once you run out of moves, you're out of moves and you're done. You have to restart.
Challenge accepted.
I'm
on iPhone, so we wouldn't be able to challenge you anyway.
Oh, that's right. We couldn't join you in there.
But
I have one bonus topic /
Hold on, David. I kind of looked up World of Warcraft, and they're saying it used to be at 10 million, and right now it's around 4 or 5 million users.
That's
Right, that
still a
was
lot.
what I had saw.
Yeah, which is still a lot of
it's
people.
Definitely enough people to keep
But
supporting
how much
it.
is it a month? Is it still like $14
That's a good
a month?
question. Yeah, because I don't think you have to pay for the game itself anymore. See,
Yeah,
$14.99. Yeah, $14.99.
Yeah, if it's $14 a month for 4 million people, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And that's on top of Hearthstone, on top of Overwatch,
Yeah.
on top of Diablo 3, on top of StarCraft. Like,
oh man, I probably will get Diablo 3 for Switch. Just throwing that out there. I've never played Diablo actually before.
I have 3 on PS4, and it's great.
Wait, what?
I think
it took a while for it to get great, but it's great.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's coming with everything on the Switch, so that's
and
Ganondorf armor. I love Ganondorf. He's one of my favorite Nintendo characters.
Yeah, but that Ganondorf armor is going to be good for like 10 minutes and then not.
But I look cool doing it.
Because that's how Diablo works. Like, oh, this new armor is the shit, and then something else drops.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that armor sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, bonus topic from David.
Bonus topic.
Bonus
it's more
topic.
of a statement. Because it might change the way you guys think and feel about me. Just a little bit.
David, do I need to call mom and dad to come and
not
sit into this conversation?
It'll just affect your mind of the way your minds work in my direction.
Because
David, I don't have a problem if you come out, man.
Yeah, David, we fully support your decision.
I don't think my girlfriend would appreciate it.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, you're going to have to tell her it was a lie. This whole thing you've been doing.
Well, good. I oversold it, so it won't seem
I don't like comic books. We already went through that, David. We know.
So my statement is that I more came to the realization that I genuinely like Taco Bell food. I go out and I buy it. I actually enjoy eating it, and I can't not lie about it.
I'm gonna go next. David. I'm gonna go next. I need to speak on this. When I was living in Lafayette, Louisiana, I lived a block away from a Taco Bell. And I ate there 5 nights a week. I was addicted to Taco Bell. And only since I moved away from there have I really stopped eating it, actually.
Which Taco Bell was it, Jamar?
It was on the corner of Congress? I don't remember the streets in Lafayette anymore. It's the one by where I used to live.
Pinhook and Cali Saloon?
Yeah, it's the one that has the canes behind it.
Okay, that was I lived in Lafayette also. And also ate Taco Bell 5 nights a week.
It's called Fat Cast now. We're called Fat Cast. We're just
the Pinhook and Cali Saloon Taco Bell.
Wow.
Because I lived on John Wayne Drive, which was 5 blocks away from there.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all live really close by each other.
Yeah.
I used to live on Pinhook too.
That's pretty weird. Wow. I went there all the time. And I used to go to the Burger King down Pinhook. I used to go there in the middle of the night and eat there as well. And just destroy that fast food.
It's funny because the reason I brought it up is I went to that specific Taco Bell and realized the lady in the drive-thru kind of recognized me. And I was like, oh crap, I got a Taco Bell too much probably.
I have been there, man.
I do have a Taco Bell story since we are talking about Taco Bell, and it's the reason that I stopped eating Taco Bell before I left. I went to the Taco Bell in Abbeville. That should be the end of the story. You'd be like, why did you do that? So I was delivering medications at my job I used to have. I went to the Taco Bell, ordered like the 7 or 10 tacos that I get or whatever. And so I eat one of them, and it's good. And then I forget, it had to be it was something I get all the time. It's like the what I don't remember what it's called. It's a burrito there, but it doesn't have beans in it. And it's the potato burrito. The potato burrito.
Mm.
So I got the potato burrito, and I bite into it, and I just hear, and then a burst of the most disgusting flavor, I guess. Toxic something went in my mouth, and there was a roach in my burrito, and I had bitten into it. And I pulled off on the side of the road, threw the burrito, like started gagging. It was like, that was gross. Like swug water, spit it out. But then also still ate the rest of my burritos. I got it from there. But
Did you just check them before?
Yeah.
No, I just ate the rest of them.
Stuff.
I didn't check them at all. I was too hungry or too fat. I was just like, man, I really need to finish these. I'm going to take that chance.
No.
It was the grossest thing I've ever tasted in my life. And then I know I couldn't eat it again because it was my godchild's birthday. And I took her friends to Taco Bell because that's where her friends... Taco Bell's more famous than I gave credit for, David. Everyone loves Taco Bell. So that's where my niece and her friend wanted to eat for her birthday. And they were eating it in front of me and I was gagging. I could not... Because all I could remember was the taste of roach in my mouth. And it was so gross. It's so disgusting. So I can eat it now because I've forgotten the taste of roach, I guess.
Yeah, I've never ate a bug at Taco Bell, but if I spend more than $5 at Taco Bell, I'm begging for bubble gut, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another fat Taco Bell story is I used to get their $12 or $10, but have 12 tacos in a box, and just eat on that while driving all day. And it was awesome. And I would also do that. I also did that with not Popeye, but Church's chicken biscuits, and I got like a dozen of them and just ate them while driving around one day. It was awesome.
Why would you eat that?
Whenever I delivered
Popeye's biscuits?
Well, they had this.
They're cheaper though, right?
They are cheaper,
Are they?
and they had
Yeah.
this like honey butter on it that I really liked.
When I delivered furniture, we ate a lot of Checkers.
Oh yeah, I ate a lot of Checkers too.
And there was a summer that it was called Cheddar Fest
Oh no.
that had like cheese, like nacho cheese on everything, like nacho cheese hot dogs and nacho cheese burgers and nacho cheese chicken sandwiches and nacho cheese fries. And we would just go, and they were all like dollar menu stuff. And we would just load up and then bring it all back to the house. And they would you open the fridge, it was beer and checker bags.
Oh,
The
wow.
only things in the fridge.
Yeah.
Many hours spent on the toilet from that too.
Wow. It came in and right out. It's probably more consistent when it came out.
You wash nacho cheese down with beer, and you're begging for you're begging for diarrhea.
But you definitely were cooler than me because mine was Cheeto, Checkers, and Smirnoff Ice.
Ugh.
I went through a big Smirnoff Ice phase. A huge, I drank that.
Are you trying to date a girl?
No,
When she was like always like, oh, do you have any of those Smirnoffs?
I love Smirnoff. It was so good. It was like a margarita in my mouth every time. It's so good. I think 4 topics is good.
There's not 4 of us.
Well, I know, but like that was the perfect amount of time I felt.
Yeah, like a bonus, like a collective topic,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
an unrelated topic on top of the 3.
Yes.
Some silliness.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So do we want to end this and then start another one?
I have one more question on my small
Well, timestamp this one.
Well, I mean, it would be easier if I ended it and just. I mean, it's like a couple clicks just to end it.
It's
and start
not.
another
It's not a question that takes more than 2 seconds to answer.
one. Oh no! Okay, go ahead then. What is your question?
For someone who believes in eating in Taco Bell and does it regularly, what do you call that person? I thought a Liv Mosser might be one of them.
A what?
A Liv Mosser, like they're slogan is "Live Moss." It's like live more. So what would you call a Taco Bellion or something like that?
So Taco Bell's current logo, which shows I haven't eaten in a while, is called Live Eat. What is it called?
Live Moss, which is
Spanish. Live Moss. Yeah. Oh. Well, David, you put me on the spot here. But what I call it? So is that a joke that you were?
I would say probably a head.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because that's what's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
I don't think I've made any poop jokes. I think Nick actually beat me in poop jokes.
That's true.
Well, you started talking about Taco Bell, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's sure. It's hard not to.
My bowels start thinking about it already.
We might need a.
You're gonna need a funny sensor noise though.
Yeah, I don't know what that's gonna be. I was just gonna
like a chicken or something.
Just do a fart noise or something. If I normally just record my own voice doing something, and then just
if I say then you can make it a
yeah.
And if I say the F word, it can be like
great. That sounds like a plan. That's actually a good idea, but it'd be more editing on my end.
Oh yeah.
I would make that last you to edit what you're saying and then do the noise right after.
Yeah, I'll just grab that sound clip of Nick doing that.
Great.
Okay.
So no nothing from Jamot. No Taco Bell name for.
I mean, Nick's was pretty good. I guess I can mix them together and say "live" would be the
or more.
or more. And more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You can call it myself. Oh man.
We have a winner.
Yeah.
There you
go. Okay, I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. Actually, I feel pretty good about that. Well, thank y'all for joining me. Y'all, I don't know if y'all are. Thank y'all for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for downloading.
Yes, I will download the poop out of this. The Taco Bell out of this. Maybe we should switch poop with Taco Bell from now on. The Taco Bell out of this. All right, anything
Maybe
to say?
Taco Bell ding can be.
Dong, that's great. I might use that for every curse word. Dong. All right, y'all have any last words before we leave? Do y'all need to not support? What's the word? Advertise anything you're doing?
Follow me on Insta at Just Think Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most douchebag thing I've ever said. So.
Okay. David?
I have no presence online. Please don't judge me for my food choices, I guess is all I want to say.
David is not even creative.
On the stove right now is another one of those pork roasts. I'm doing the pulled pork burritos.
Woo!
Once I get off of here, I'm going to pickle me some red onions, and I'm going to eat like a king tonight.
I'm eating leftover barbecue from Black's Barbecue, which is my favorite barbecue place. So follow me on Game Rating Review, all social medias Game Rating Review, and we will talk to you later. Is that a good outro? We'll talk Geek later.
Better luck next time.
Better luck next time. Better luck next time.